Before we dive into the latest Giants news and rumors on today's video, I just want to start with a question. Is this the worst Giants team of your lifetime? I'm curious what you got to say. In my 29 years of living, I'm not sure I've seen a less competitive team than what the Giants have been trotting out. They just lost 30-6 to Antonio Pierce and Aiden O'Connell. If that's not rock bottom, I don't know what is. Is this the worst Giants team of your life? Let me know. Coming up on today's show, I've been asked probably 552 times and a half since Sunday, should the Giants fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen? I've got pretty strong opinions on this. I'll share that in a second. And also, I want to break down the quotes from Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney absolutely called out the coaching staff for the New York Giants, and it did not sit right with me. So we're going to dive into that. Let's start, though, with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Look, Giants are in a bad spot right now. They absolutely are, no doubt about it. But there's something inside of me that tells me, Marshall, take a deep breath, still believe in these two guys. And I think I have. But the facts are the facts here. The New York Giants have fired 3 straight coaches after 2 seasons. They've done it. They fired Joe Judge. Every coach, after 3 straight coaches, they have fired Ben McAdoo, Joe Judge, Shermer. Are we going to get there? I'll tell you this much. John Mara doesn't like being embarrassed. And the way the Giants are playing football, I'm embarrassed for John Mara. No way you fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, though. That's just going to be my take on that. There is no way you can fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Think about it like this. We always knew this was a rebuild. We always knew that. Once you were picking 5th in the draft, in the 2022 draft, and you hired Joe Schoen and you hired Brian Daboll, you knew it was going to be a multiple-year rebuild. And I honestly think that the Giants overachieving last year messed my head up, it messed your head up, and it made us raise our level of expectations when this team was not ready to meet those expectations. When Brian Daboll took over the Giants job, this team had $35+ million in dead cap. That means of their salary cap, $35 million of it was unusable. And Brian Daboll still found a way to bring this team to the playoffs. This was never a one-year rebuild. This was never a one-year rebuild. It never, ever was. And it's going to take multiple years to fix this team. Because right now you don't have a franchise quarterback. You don't have any good weapons outside of Saquon Barkley. You don't have any pass rush outside of Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence. They can't do it themselves. You only got one rookie corner. Dory Jackson's gone after this year. You're going to need another safety because there's no way in hell they're re-signing Xavier McKinney. This is a rebuild, not a retool, not a refurbish, a rebuild. And that starts at the base layer. The Giants have to get this right. But I will say this. Brian Daboll has not been great this year. He deserves just as much blame as anybody else because he is the CEO of this football team. Every decision that is made about this football team week in and week out, Thursday night, Sunday evening, Sunday night, Monday night, every decision goes through Brian Daboll. So he is not blame-free. He deserves a lot of the blame, in my opinion. He has not been good. But I do believe in Brian Daboll. And I do believe in Joe Schoen. I do. Maybe I'm being a blind apologist. Maybe I'm just trying to look at the glass half full because I am the most pessimistic mother effer you've ever met in your life. But I do believe in Brian Daboll. And I do believe in Joe Schoen. But it's also fair. 2 things could be true. They both need to be better. They both 100% need to be better. They both have to do better. Giants fans deserve better. You watching this right now deserve better than what Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen have done in the 2023 NFL season. I know this for a fact. These last 8 games are going to be interesting. These last 8 games could right the ship of whether Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen will be here next year. Because I'll tell you this much. I don't know many general managers in the National Football League that get to hand out $92 million to a quarterback. And then 12 months from then, pick in the top 5 and have to select another quarterback. You don't usually get that opportunity. GMs don't usually get to pay maximum dollars to a quarterback and then 12 months later draft one in the top 5. And I know this for a fact as well. When Joe Judge was fired after 2 years, It was because the offense looked incompetent, just like it does now. Brian Daboll, you were brought here to fix this offense. Brian Daboll, you got this job because of what you did as an offensive coordinator with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. This offense looks anemic. They look awful. They don't look like they practice. It's penalty after penalty, bad play after bad play. They both need to be better. But in my opinion, they don't deserve to be fired just yet. This team plays like this next year, though. You don't get 3 years. And the last 2 are you're a bottom 10 team in this league. You don't get that. So I'll ask you, should the Giants fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen? What do you think? Type F for fire, type K for keep. I understand why some people make you say fire. I understand it. I get it. I'm just not there yet. Let me know what you think. Coming up next, Xavier McKinney has called out Brian Daboll. He's called out Wink Martindale, and it's pissing me the hell off. Because Xavier McKinney, you let this team down last year on a bye week in Mexico when you hurt your hand and missed 9 games. You haven't been good in this year. And you're a captain, and you're not acting like one. Before we dive deeper into those quotes, though, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Waterboy. Go to waterboy.com/chatsports. That is waterboy.com/chatsports and get 15% off your first order. That link will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. With the holidays approaching, our sponsor Waterboy is here to help you prepare for those nasty holiday hangovers. There's nothing worse than feeling like the Grinch while everyone else in the family is rocking around the Christmas tree. Waterboy is a hydration powder scientifically formulated to cut your hangover time in half. There are other hydration packs on the market, but nothing comes anywhere close to fighting those Sunday scaries like Waterboy. With 0 sugar and over 3 times the electrolytes of Liquid IV, your ingredients beyond just hydration to help with nausea, anxiety, and fatigue. We all know that hydration alone isn't enough to help after a holiday bender, and it's not just for you. Waterboy's hangover recovery formula makes a thoughtful stocking stuffer or a fantastic gift for your loved ones. Show them you care about their well-being this holiday season. For our Giants Now listeners, you get 15% off when you go to waterboy.com/chatsports. Maybe the best part about Waterboy is how amazing it tastes. Their most popular flavors include strawberry lemonade, lemon lime, and blue raspberry. You're absolutely going to love it because I do, and I know you guys will. Hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure. It's time to stop dealing with that anxiety alone. For a limited time, Giants Now listeners get an exclusive 15% off discount with our link at waterboy.com/chatsports. That's 15% off at waterboy.com/chatsports. It's time to hydrate this holiday season. All righty, Xavier McKinney, following the loss of the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday, called out the coaches. He called out the entire coaching staff, Brian Daboll, Wink Martindale, and they were very interesting words. For a guy that has not played good this year and is in a contract year, they were some choice words. This is what he said. He said, honestly, it sucks, but I don't know, man. I don't really have many words. I think that from a leadership standpoint, I don't think they've done a great job of letting the leaders lead and listening to the leaders and the captains. But obviously, it sucks losing. I don't know. There are other things, too, that we could have done. Like I said, the execution stuff could have been better. But when you got guys out there that are playing and seeing different things and are being vocal and communicating that with the coaches, and whoever and are not being heard, it's hard to go out there and be able to make plays and do things of that nature. You saw that picture of Xavier McKinney? He had something right here on his chest. It was a C. The Giants had 10 of them. One, it's an absolute joke that you had 10 captains. If you have 10 captains, you have no captains. And Xavier McKinney, you are not a captain. That is not how a captain of a team in the National Football League speaks. A captain of a team in the National Football League does not go to Mexico on their bye week and break their hand and lacerate their hand so bad they have to miss 9 weeks. And that same guy asked for a contract extension after the end of the season. It's a joke. I will say I've talked to a couple people, and supposedly the defense is upset with the trade of Leonard Williams. There are supposedly people on this team that are upset that the New York Giants traded Leonard Williams. You know what I have to say? Suck it up. Stop being a baby. Go play football. Oh, Leonard Williams isn't here. I can't try anymore. Sound like a bunch of ridiculous. Dexter Lawrence had some words on the Big Cat trade saying, I didn't see why we did it. I still don't understand on why. It is what it is. Xavier McKinney, who called out the coaches, also thought it was dumb that the Giants traded Leonard Williams, saying, I hate it. He was a leader and a captain for our team. He's a guy that we all respect as a player in person. He's going to be missed. He also said, I thought we were trying to win games. Why did we trade him? I understand the kind sentiment. I understand what the Giants are doing. You got Jihad Ward right there, and you got Dexter Lawrence to the right of him. It would always be Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Jihad Ward warming up before games. He didn't die. He didn't die. You don't have to keep a spot for him in pregame warmups. Move on. Trades suck. I understand he's your friend. I understand he's your buddy. I understand you party with him. Be professional. Be a leader. Be a captain. It's a joke, Xavier McKinney. I used to be your biggest fan, man. But between the Mexico shit, you calling out the coaches, you're not playing well, and you're crying that Leonard Williams is traded? Move on. You should be embarrassed. Why do the Giants suck? Let's close with this one. That feels good right here. Why do the Giants suck? Is it the lack of talent? Is it the injuries? Is it the coaching? If you have another reason, let me know, because I think there's a couple more why they might suck. Let me know what you think. LT for lack of talent, I for injuries, C for coaching. You can also just type D for all of the above. I think it's a lack of accountability for guys like Xavier. 10 captains? Are you kidding me? You have 10 captains, that's a fifth of the team. That's more than a fifth of the active roster that plays on Sundays. Who's holding people accountable if there's 10 captains? Imagine at your job, you worked in a little pod, and you had 50 people in your pod, but you had 10 people selected as the team lead. That pod's not going anywhere. That's ridiculous. Grow the hell up. Grow the hell up, Xavier McKinney. How about you play better and you may not have traded Leonard Williams? How about that? How about that? It's ridiculous. Give me a follow over on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Xavier McKinney, my man, I hope you enjoyed playing for the New York Giants. Because I don't see how on earth you are going to get a contract extension.